Hello everyone, it's Phil here from IELTS Advantage with another one of our success stories. And today I have Rohith, who is going to talk to you about his successful journey through his IELTS. It's quite a long journey. We've just been having a chat about this. So Rohith, can you start off by introducing yourself to everyone?
Hi, I'm Rohith here, and I'm a software engineer working in Canada. I've been in Canada for the past 4.5 years, and I've been preparing for IELTS exam for the past 14 months or so. And I've took the IELTS exam 6 times, and I failed 7 times, and I got it in the 8th attempt, and I scored a 7.5 overall score in my 8th attempt. And finally, I got my score after 14 long months.
Wow, that's quite a long time. A lot of attempts.
Yeah.
So why are you taking the IELTS exam?
Basically, I moved to Canada in 2015, and back then, after I finished my bachelor's, I wanted to immigrate to Canada. And after I moved to Canada, I finished my postgraduate program here, and I worked for 1 year, and I thought I should apply for permanent residence. And I wanted to become a permanent resident of Canada. And I wanted to take this IELTS exam because before I apply for my permanent resident application, I have to take this IELTS exam. And I was supposed to score a 7.5 or a band 8 overall. And back then, when I wanted to apply for my application, the requirement was a band 7, and I took an exam and I scored a band 7. But after I applied, the requirement changed to a band 7.5. But it was so unfortunate that it just changed in a matter of 1 week. I was eligible, and after I applied, after 1 week, the score went up, and I couldn't do anything. Band 7 was not sufficient, and I had to score a 7.5. So I thought I just waited for 6 months so that the score will come down. I was hoping the score would come down and I would get an invitation from the government. But unfortunately, I didn't receive an invitation in the next 6 months, and I thought I should retake the exam, and taking the exam over and over again. I did 5 attempts in a single month, and I was so devastated. I was really frustrated. I was thinking, why am I not getting the score? Because people used to tell me, your speaking is really good, but what's wrong with your other sections of the test? I used to score a band 8 sometimes in listening, a band 8 in the speaking part, but I don't know what was wrong with the reading and the writing part. And I never scored a band 7 in both of those areas.
And what were you scoring when you first came to IELTS Advantage? What were you scoring in the writing section?
So the very first time I took the test in 2018 October, I didn't prepare for the test. Basically, I worked my shift, and I was working till the evening, and I went to the test in the evening. And finally, when I checked my results, I got a band 6.5 overall, and my writing was a 5.5. And that was the very first time that I took the test in Canada. And I waited for 2 more months, and then I prepared a little bit, and then I took the test. But I wanted to tell this also. So basically, when I heard this in one of the modules by Chris, people consume a lot of information from the internet. They start reading essays on the internet. They start reading other people's essays, and then you mug up information about technology, about phones, about internet and everything. And that's what I did back in 2018. I mugged up so much of information from the internet, and then I took the exam. Honestly, the writing question was about games, and that was basically an easy question to answer. And then I did answer the question well, and I got a band 6.5. But if it was a different question, I would definitely say I would have got a 5.5 or a 6 again. But honestly, like I was not really good in writing and reading. I never scored a 7 in reading and 6.5 in writing at all. But this time, like without any difficulty, I made it in the writing and the reading part.
That's great. So as you're saying, there seems to be like there's so much information on the internet, and it's really confusing for students. because they're looking at one way of doing things and another way of doing things. And I think a lot of people are kind of hoping to find tips and not so much tips, but tricks, some like cheat of how to do the writing and suddenly get the score. And I think what we were saying earlier when we were having a little chat, that like there aren't really any tricks. You're not going to get lucky. Doing the IELTS
Exactly.
writing, especially, you really need to know the structure and how to do it.
Exactly. For one of the advantages and disadvantages question, so we have this one kind of question where the tests ask you to outweigh the advantages of the disadvantages. So whenever I used to say see a question, what are the advantages and disadvantages question, I would actually write it on the other way. It is just asking you what are the advantages and disadvantages, but I'm writing it, I'm overweighing the advantages with the disadvantages. So I didn't know what was the kind of structure that you're supposed to follow. I was actually grabbing so much of information, so many quotes from the internet, so many lines that I can by heart and put it in the exam and try to show some vocabulary, some kind of information that I know. But I was doing completely wrong in the test and the writing part for sure. So, but when I just actually went through the modules, I thought there's so much of information that I was doing wrong. And especially with the structure, I was doing it completely wrong. I would definitely say I was doing like 90% of my structure was wrong before joining Bell Academy. And after I joined, I learned the structures first. And right after I finished the modules, like I took the course in December and I finished the course modules by Jan 5th, and I submitted my first essay. And I was really surprised when I just checked my writing feedback, because I got a written feedback from the examiner. And honestly, to be honest, like right from the first sentence to the last sentence, it was completely in red. And I wish I could have showed that. It makes me feel very weird. It was so weird for me because I finished all the modules, but I didn't know what was going wrong, and I didn't know what were the things that is bringing my score down. Even after I looked at the feedback, I didn't understand what was wrong. And then from the next time, I started getting video feedback, and that really helped really helped me to
So how
improve my
did you
score.
feel after the first video feedback?
So after I submitted my first essay on Jan 6th, and after I got my feedback, I just felt very devastated. I was like, oh my God, like I took this course, I put so much money on this course, I finished the modules. Chris asked to finish the modules and then do your submissions. I finished. I'm like really good at grasping information, and I thought I'll just get a 6.5 at least in my first submission. But at the end of the day, I still got a 6 again, and I was like, oh, band 6 in all the bands. And I thought to myself, this is not going to happen. And I was really demotivated. The very first thing that I felt was demotivated.
But
I thought I should
was
not
it
take this
clear
exam
to
again.
you what you needed to do after getting some video feedback? Did it start, instead of having the writing feedback, actually going onto the videos, did you find it something like, okay, these are the areas I've actually got to work on?
So I didn't want to submit I didn't feel like submitting a second essay because I thought it is not going to work out. I thought I will not improve at all. And I thought I have to accept the fact that I will not score a 6.5 or 7 band in writing. And then I just gave up for a month, and I did not completely study at all until February 20th. And then I thought, okay, I'm not that kind of a guy who's going to give up that fast. And then I thought, okay, this is not. Why am I thinking this is not my cup of tea? I'm going to do it. And then I gathered all my strength and I started reading and practicing. Right, I started practicing reading and writing. And on May 1st, I submitted my second essay for correction. And this is my favorite part of the question. This is the question I like the most. Discuss both views and give your opinion. I'm very good at writing that, and I thought I would submit this kind of a question. And on May 1st, I submitted my second essay, and I got a band 7.5, and it was corrected by David. And I really felt good. Like I felt motivated. I thought, okay, let me do this. I'm not gonna miss this flow, and I thought I'll probably do it. And the worst part of the essay is that I don't like writing double questions. And the third question was a double question, and I submitted for correction, and it was corrected by you, and I got a band 5.5 in the third essay, and I was like, oh my god, like I felt very bad. I thought like I was like, honestly, I just want to be honest with you now. I told my friends, hey, my essays are being corrected with one of examiner, and is very strict. Is just not being very lenient. He's not giving me marks, and is not giving me a good score. And then my friend told me, see, that is how you improve. Even though he's strict, you have to submit your essays and get your essays corrected, and that's how you're gonna improve. And then the next time, then I started improving. I worked on my weakness. I didn't want to give up. I just completely focused on what was wrong. And the next time I started getting a 7. I never got a band. Uh, I never got something less than 7 from the next essay. The video feedback gave me clear picture of what was going wrong. I was doing so many mistakes. I was not getting the structure wrong. My punctuation was wrong. My articles were going wrong. I never used to do the definite articles right. Every time, like every sentence,
I
my
think so many
sentence.
students have this problem, and what you're talking about is very similar, I think, for so many people that, to start with, they're like, because it's such a big hill to climb at times, to understand how to do the writing. I think a lot of people feel really overwhelmed at the start, and it's really good to see that, you know, even someone like yourself who's done really well, you've got great English. You started off like feeling the difficulties, but you stuck through it, and that perseverance has,
Yes.
has meant that you've actually managed to. I mean, I remember marking so many of your writing corrections, and yeah, they were all really, really good by the end. And I mean, to go from a band 5.5 to a 7.5, I mean, it's incredible. What you did was really incredible. So you should be really proud of yourself.
Yes, I was doing one thing wrong. Like my topic sentence used to be somewhere in between, like in the whole body paragraph, and I used to write something ridiculous in the first sentence, and my example was completely ridiculous. If it was technology, I would write something about cooperation. It was completely irrelevant, and I realized, oh my god, like I'm doing so many things wrong, but I'm still able to get a 6. And then I thought, okay, if I really work hard and if I try to figure out what is going wrong, I've definitely improved. And that's that really helped me. Like the video feedback really helped me to improve my scores.
So you said you studied like doing different things beforehand. So what have you been trying to do but before coming to IELTS Advantage?
Okay, so basically, I took as I said, like I took the test in 2018, and then I failed for the very first time. And the second time I took the test, I got a 7, and the score then was not sufficient. And then I waited for 6 months until August. I took the test 5 times in August and September. I literally failed in all the attempts. Sometimes I even scored a 5.5 in reading and a 6 in writing. And I don't know what was happening, what was wrong. And I thought, okay, I need to get some help. And by then I joined Pell Academy, but the thing was, Pell Academy has a waiting list and you have to wait to get your slot. And then I thought it would definitely take a long time to get my slot. And then I joined a private online course, and then I paid literally. I wasted a lot of money. I paid around $700, and I used to connect with the examiner, with the trainer every day. I would definitely say I just wanted to tell everybody about this. There are so many people on the internet. There's so many people outside who call themselves IELTS trainers, IELTS examiners, certified examiners, but that is not at all true. They don't know anything. They just gather some information from somewhere and just get you, and they just load your mind with so much of information from the internet, and then you're confusing yourself and you're not doing the exam in the right way that you're supposed to do. And then after 1 month, I realized I was not doing anything right. Whenever I used to write an essay and submit a essay for correction, the trainer, the so-called trainer, used to tell me, "Okay, I'll give you a band score of 5.56," and I was like, "Okay, come on, like you can tell me the score generally, and I don't know where is the mistake and what is the problem with my writing. You're just giving me a general feedback. My friends also would do it. One of my friend reads books every day. He reads a lot of information and reads a lot of articles. I used to submit my essay. He used to give me a general feedback. I didn't want to have a general feedback. I wanted to improve what was wrong in my writing, but the trainer was doing it completely wrong. And finally, in December, I got an email from before Christmas. That was on December 23rd. I still remember the date. I got an email from Pell Academy saying that, okay, this is your slot. If you want to do it, just enroll in the course. And I was just thinking, I've wasted $3,000 on the test, wasted $700 on an IELTS online course, and do I spend this money again? And just I was so many things were going on in my mind, but I thought, okay, I'm not gonna give up. This is not me. And then I immediately, before I changed my mind, I have to pay for this and just book my slot. I immediately took my wallet and just enrolled in the course, and I was just waiting for the course to be finalized, and I was waiting for the confirmation from Pell Academy. And finally, I got the course on December 29th. I sent an email right away because my exam was booked before that. I booked my test for Jan 10th, and I emailed like everybody else. Like I said, hey Chris, is there any way that I can improve my score to 7.5 in 1 week, as everybody says? Everybody has the same problem. Everybody wants to improve their scores in a week, in a day or so. And I asked the same question. And then once I was going through a mindset course, I realized, okay, you cannot drive a car from 0 to 100 miles an hour in just one day. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of hard work. And then I don't know who it was, but from one of your colleagues or somebody replied to me saying that you cannot do this because there's no way that you can improve your score in 1 week. And then I had to postpone my exam, and I booked it for Feb 22nd. But then I submitted my first essay on Jan 6th, and then I got my first feedback, and then I just gave up in a month, and I didn't do anything. And I thought, there's no way I'm gonna go to the test and get demotivated, because I knew I was gonna fail again. Because if I take the test the next time in February, I thought I'd definitely fail, and I didn't want to do that, and I don't want to lose that focus. So I did not go to the test at all, and I was just absent for the test.
But I think it's
And
so important for students to actually book the test when they're ready. Because like you said, so many people, they're like, okay, I want to take it now. And it's all very well wanting to take it, but if you go along and book the test and you fail, you're wasting a huge amount of money. So it's much better to actually have someone tell you, okay, you're ready, you're not ready. And then when you know you're ready, you can go in there, you can be confident in the exam, and you're not wasting your time or your money, which is obviously really important. Because how much did you say you ended up spending in the end on booking tests when you weren't ready?
After I calculated everything, I just put $4,500 on the test, including all the IELTS courses and everything. And I took every writing course that was on the internet. I used to go on Udemy. Udemy is a course that you can find so many online courses. I've enrolled there. I got a course. I paid $50 for my writing. And you know what? When I took an online course, I was not doing well. The trainer was not teaching me well, and then I thought, okay, I need to get my essays corrected with a proper English teacher. And I googled it on the internet, English teachers near me, and I hired an English teacher, and I paid her some money, and then I told her, hey, this is what I need. I need a 7 in my writing. Could you please correct my essays? And then she said, yeah, perfect. But that teacher was really good. She was correcting basically my grammar, but at the end of the day, she was not giving me a general feedback. I didn't know how do I improve. Like I didn't know what was happening. There's so much of mental trauma. There's so many things going on in my mind. I want to do the test. I want to book my test. I want to get a 7 because I've been waiting for a year. I waited for so long, and I was devastated completely.
So
But
what was
finally,
it in the end, Rohith? What did you do to work on the feedback that we gave you to get the scores you finally needed?
Usually I used to write my essay on the weekend, and I used to completely work in the week, in the weekdays. When I used to get a feedback, I used to go on the internet. Say, for example, most of my mistakes were related to definite articles and punctuation. I used to do some online tests. I used to write some essays and upload it on Grammarly, because Grammarly gives you Grammarly actually tells you what is wrong with your punctuation. It is only good for punctuation, but it is not good for something else. So I started writing essays and I started uploading them on Grammarly, and then I realized, okay, there are ways that you have grammar rules. I started reading the grammar rules on the internet. I started practicing some online tests, and that's how I improved more with grammar, with punctuation. But with the definite articles, it took a long time. I basically wrote like more than 10 essays, and at the end of the on my eighth or ninth essay, I realized I was confident that I'll do the punctuation and the definite articles right. But to be honest, on the last submission that I did to Pell Academy, I got a band 8 in my final submission, and then that was the last attempt that I took with Pell Academy, and then I went and did the test. So so I think it's very important for everybody to actually work on your mistakes. When they give you the feedback, just I know, like, the very first feedback when I received, I just read it and I just threw it away, and I didn't work on my weakness at all. I just gave up for a month, and then I started working on it. And when I started working on my weakness and my uh, weak areas, I really improved, and it took me only 1 month to improve from a 5.5 to a 6.5 in writing. So, and I think everybody can do it, and I don't think it is very hard. Like, just focus on what is wrong, and you will definitely improve.
So do you have any more advice for other students who are studying now?
Uh, Basically, in the last 7 attempts, I think I was doing well in the listening part, but I never got an 8.5 in listening. Uh, all I did was, like, when I finished the mindset course, I realized, okay, you need to listen to some kind of English every day. You need to read some kind of reading every day. You need to do some kind of reading every day. And I installed Guardian, as Chris told everybody, and I installed Guardian, and I installed some podcasts on my iPhone, and I used to listen some kind of some kind of podcast every single day. I used to listen to some kind of English. I used to motivate myself with some kind of mental health videos, and that's how my listening also improved basically. And when I did the test, I basically got a 8.5 in my listening, which I never got in the 7 attempts. And reading, I was not at all sure in the last 7 attempts. I used to just blindly just mark the answers, and if I'm lucky, I'll probably get a 7. That's what I used to think. But this time I was very confident, and when I put the answers, after the exam, I analyzed my answers and I realized I was definitely going to get a 7, because my reading improved so much that I was very confident that I'll be able to get a 7. So I think it's very important for everybody to read every day and listen to some kind of English news or some kind of English information. And with speaking, I never had problems, but I also booked the mock test to see if I'm at that point, uh, but hopefully I was doing well, and I still managed to get a 7.5 in the speaking as well, which is good enough for what I need. So I think everybody needs to just follow what is there on the course. Just practice writing, read every day, and listen every day, and that's how you'll improve your scores.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Really, it's really quite inspiring, and I really hope the IELTS helps you so much in the future, and you must be very happy not to have to take any more exams. So I know your time is precious, so I'm going to finish this here. But yeah, thanks so much, and congratulations on getting the scores that you needed. And we wish you all the best in the future.
I just wanted to include one last point. Once I finished my IELTS exam, I got my results the next day, and I partied so hard with my friends and I slept. The next morning when I woke up, I got a email from the government saying that you're invited to apply for permanent residence. So back to back, two big shots. I got my IELTS score. I got my permanent residence invitation from the Canadian government. Hopefully everything is going to be fine. But I just want to tell one thing to everybody: don't ever give up. Just work hard and you'll achieve your scores, or you'll get those scores, whatever you need in the future. Thanks again, Phil. Thanks again for your help.
Thank you so much, Rohith. Thanks for being a great student.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.